Hello my people, good morning. It's very sunny today here in Abu Dhabi. The weather seems to be changing every day, but it's fine. We are used to hot weather. Summer is coming very soon, so we are still enjoying this. It's called winter. We are still on winter or the spring probably. Anyway, so this is the continuation of our last two videos on the things that I wish I knew before I traveled abroad. If you haven't watched, check them out and let me know what you think. Okay, so let's start. Another thing that I wish I knew before I traveled abroad is I wish I had opened my bank account. This is a very sensitive topic because I have had many people, they have worked so hard and at the end of the day the money goes missing. It's so painful, and actually I was there because when I traveled I didn't open any bank account. I just traveled abroad. I didn't know, like I was so naive, as I mentioned from the other videos. I was very naive, so I didn't open my bank account. So I was very naive. I didn't know things to do before I traveled abroad, and that is why I'm making this video. I know people are now aware on the things to do before they travel abroad, but there are those few, there is that percentage that are still in the darkness. They don't know, especially from my village people. So please, before you board that plane, please open a bank account for yourself. You're going to work. Where will you be putting your money? I didn't know that, So let me tell you an example of me who went abroad without opening a bank account. That was a very big mistake. And when I arrived there, I was working and obviously I didn't have an account where I was. So I had to send money to someone I thought I trusted to keep for me. And remember, they're keeping in their bank account. And this is a person, or these are the people that they don't know how you really struggle to get that money. So sometimes they use, because it's their account, like you're just topping up every now and then, to their account. They don't know the value of that money. So what happens is, most of the times, they misuse the money. There are challenges. You might be trusting them, but challenges comes and they use the money because that is the most the available money. They will not think like this girl is struggling abroad or something like that. No. So what they do is they just use little by little, and then they will be like, we will replace. They don't even ask you, So I think this is actually should be the most important thing to do before you travel abroad. Like, I wish someone had told me, to open my bank account. I worked for 2 years, and then when I came back, there was nothing. That's unbelievable, So it's not only me. I've had many stories. If you go to social media, you will hear many stories. Everyone is complaining, and most of the time these are first timers. These are the people who travel for the first time, and because they didn't know, they didn't have any knowledge on the things to do before they travel abroad. So in terms of money, it's very sensitive, and it brings enmity between the people that we think we love. But you know what, life must go on. You just try to be strong and continue and assume, that was a lesson, and it always happened. That was a lesson for me, that, I opened my bank account. There are many scenarios. Someone is sick, and the first person to be called is actually you. You are the most near person to be contacted. And because you don't have your money in your account, they will not even contact you like, would you please help? They will contact you to tell you Actually, we use the money to do ABCD. You know, they have already used the money. They're just informing you that they have used it. And sometimes they don't actually inform you. That's the funny part. They use the money, they do whatever they want to do, and then once you come back, you realize the calculations are not adding up, and there is nothing you can do. You've already finished your 2 years or 1 year or whatever, and you're back in the country. You want to start projects 1, 2, 3, and the bank or the money that you thought you saved are not adding up, you know. And who will you ask? You cannot ask anyone. You know, working abroad is very, very hard, and then you work for your money, and someone somewhere is using your money without your consent. They didn't borrow you. The reason is because they're using their account. You're sending money to them to save for you. So please open a bank account to avoid all this, to avoid enmity between you and your family or the closest friends that you thought you trusted. Because once you go back home, your money is not there. It will not be normal. It will not be like before, you know. Because you can imagine you're struggling abroad, and then when you go back home, the person you really trusted, the person you loved and thought, you know, this is the person that will really even help me with some ideas on what to do once you come back home, and this is the person who is stabbing you on the back, you know, using all the money with no explanation. You don't even know how they use it for. You know, people abroad are really passing through difficult times. So the only option is to open a bank account before you travel, and from there you will be able to manage your finances rather than just sending money and you don't know whether they are safe or not. So guys, I hope you've learned one thing or two, especially for those people who come from the village. This video was actually for the people who come from the village, who are traveling abroad for the first time. And if you're not coming from the village and you're traveling for the first time and you don't have any information, I hope you watch part 1, part 2 and this video so that you'll be able to understand. So guys, it's getting hotter here, so I'm going home. I need to drink some water. You know, it's Ramadan here and you're not allowed to drink outside, unfortunately. So I am thirsty. So let's call it a wrap and see you in the next one. This is just a bit of Abu Dhabi near my neighborhood. People are busy, as you can hear the cars, you know. The weather is nice though, it's hot, but you know, there is some wind. Okay, see you in the next one. Ciao!